Welcome to the Infuse Compassion podcast, hosted by me, Amy Quisenberry.
And me, Mark Carpenter.
We are on a mission to make this world a kinder place for us all by bringing healthier human connection to communities, families, and organizations of all types and sizes.
Our goal is to create stronger relationships, more inspired teams, increased trust, and improved results.
So let's get started with more ways to infuse compassion into our world. Welcome back, Compassionators, to another episode of the Infuse Compassion podcast. We have a little bit of electricity with us today, and I am so excited that Mark brought her to our podcast to share with you. Mark, oh my goodness, can you just tell us about our dear friend here?
Yes, I would love it. I'm so happy to introduce everybody to my friend, Erika Coleman. She's a speaker, consultant, and recovering overachiever. I just think there's going to be some people out there that can relate to that title. She believes that the most successful people are getting accomplishment wrong. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Erika founded a $1 million virtual training company that serviced some of the top organizations in the world. Her curiosity about stress, motivation, and well-being led her to a master's degree in industrial organizational psychology from this little school back in the East called Harvard University. Okay, so she's got some smarts behind her too. Erika imagines a world where no one needs to choose between achieving their goals and building a life worth living. Her mission is to help people learn how to find balance between dreaming and drowning by teaching the art and science of even achieving. And so, Erika, welcome to the Infuse Compassion podcast.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I would love you to start by talking about that phrase that you gave us in your introduction. What do you mean by even achieving?
Oh, I love that. There's some backstory there. You okay if I go back a little bit?
Please do.
Because for me with this, as you notice, I said I'm a recovering overachiever. And that's because no matter what, my whole life, I have loved, figuring out how to do hard things. Like I just love doing it. I love that process of learning and growing and achieving big things. That's something that always has driven me. And it's gotten me into trouble a few times. Just a few. Okay, a lot of times. I mean, I started going gray at 19. There's a reason for that. So yeah, we all want to be competent and capable and do good things, but sometimes it comes with this really heavy price tag, and it's stress, right? Where all of us are like, dude, stress is hard on me. And if you're a big achiever, you kind of just go, oh, this is life. That's just part of the package. I'm going to be stressed out because I like to do big things. But I don't think that's always the case. Because when we are super stressed out, we're given advice that tends to be not helpful, right? Like the people love you, they see that you need help, and so then they start to give you advice. And it's either like, all right, you need to take a break, do less somehow. Mark, how do you feel about doing less when you're going after something you love?
Oh, doing less stresses me out.
Right?
That adds to my stress because my brain's constantly
100%.
going, there's all this stuff that I should be doing.
Exactly. Stuff I should be doing, or it's like, am I being productive enough? Or for me, it always is kind of like, you want me to tone down how much I care? I can't do that, right? Like I actually had a manager once who said to me, Erika, nobody wants your 100%. Just give us 80%. And she was honestly trying to help me because my blood pressure was probably through the roof. And she knew I was like really fixated on things. And, but her way of saying that to me really was just kind of me going, one, I don't know how to do that. And two, even if I did know how to do that, I can't stop caring about things I care about. So no, thank you. I'm not going to take that break. I'm not going to step out, right? Because to me, that's underachieving. And I don't underachieve. I don't do that. Nope. Not in the resume. Not going to do that. Don't ever want to be that. Right. So ironically, as you study and hear from well-being experts, it's really easy to start thinking about all of their advice, like start running, eat better, you need more sleep, that's your problem. I had one where we were joking about how on the internet, I was reading about red light therapy for your face and wearing a weighted vest that you could get better workouts while you're walking. And I was like, before long, I could be sitting in the forest in an ice bath, talking to my therapist and still be stressed out. Like, I could be doing all of the things you told me to do, and it's not saving me, right? So, because the other form of advice tends to be some version of do more. And if you're burning out, that doesn't help either, right? It's like, really? You want me to do more when I'm already so tapped out? So this was my idea of starting to say, Kate, obviously underachieving is a problem. And overachieving is also causing me a lot of stress, and it could be a problem. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story with that. And I really thought, okay, is there a middle way? Could there be an even achieving? Is there a way where I can still be as ambitious as I want to be? Because I am freaking ambitious and I can't tap that down, right? Can I still be ambitious and reach for my dreams and watch things grow without it costing me, one, my health through stress, and two, my relationships? Because there are people I love and care about, and sometimes they get in the way of my success, and I don't want them to, right? I want them to be part of this team with me. And that's what brought this idea of even achieving about, is it's a full framework of how do I fuel that drive that I have in me, still take care of my needs, and do it in a way so I notice when they start taking over one or the other, balancing off wrong.
So I have a follow-up question to that. First of all, I want
Yeah.
to thank you for taking us back and walking us through that. That's really powerful. Would you mind telling us what that looked like for you? How
Happy to.
did you achieve both? Because that sounds like an art.
Yes. And I used a lot of science to get to that art, by the way. So this is something to learn about me. I love science. I'm a science nerd. I will go into it and have way too much fun. But first, you need to know that I wouldn't have ever tried to figure it out if I hadn't hit a burnout that was so intense that I wasn't functional. So I'd love to tell you about that for me. So I was an entrepreneur. First off, you already know, super high achiever my whole life, like to the point of I went to 2 high schools at the same time, because one high school had a drama program I wanted to be part of, and the other one had a sign language program I wanted to be part of, and I wanted both. So I drove between 2 different districts every day. Like, I've been that person that when most people say, maybe you shouldn't, I'm like, but I figured it out. I'll go do it. Like, I've got that gene, right? The one that's like, maybe you shouldn't, but I figured it out, so I'm going to go try it. So in 2017, I started my own business, virtual training business, and it was what a whirlwind. And actually, ironically, I'd started it because I was trying to take a step back from working a 9-to-5 full-time situation at my other job, and I wanted to spend more time with my kids. And it was really lovely for about 3 years, because what happens 3 years after 2017? A pandemic hits. And for me, I am an expert in virtual training. So suddenly this nice little side job that I'd picked up to create more balance in my life flipped the other direction. I'm really grateful for it. But I went 60 hours a week, literally overnight, and grew my company 500% in 6 months. Like, all of my 5 and 10-year goals were just like boom, boom, boom. But because literally there was a cataclysmic worldwide event. Like, you can't plan for that. It was lucky. And I was exhausted, but I was loving it, and I was grateful for all those moments. And we got to the point, the world starts to come out of the pandemic, and my sales are starting to go down because everybody now understands virtual training. Not everyone wants to outsource anymore. And I was like, that's okay. We're going to be fine. I've got grit. We'll figure this out. We'll just pivot, right? That was in 2022. But in March of that year, my mom was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And suddenly it was this, I have been pushing so hard and so long, and now I have to push on the gas even harder to save my company and care for my mom, right? And I remember just sitting there and being like, we'll figure it out. We can figure it out. You just keep going. You have to keep going. There's no other option, right? You just keep going. And we pushed harder at work. We picked up new consultants and new marketing things, and we added to our team, and we tried all of these we added new products. And at the same time with my mom, because they told it was terminal, we were like, well, let's do grief right, right? Let's find out every story about someone who says, I'm so glad I did this when my mom was going through cancer, and let's do them all. And we did them all. Like we had a joy mob, which is like a flash mob, but for the purpose of bringing people joy, where we surprised her with these dancers who came out and did her favorite song. And we did a family talent show that was huge. We did a huge Christmas celebration. We coordinated memories with old friends and brought them over. And my mom was an extrovert, so there was a lot of friends from over the years. And we also had to like prepare those friends for, you know what, she's going to look a little different than the last time you saw her. And if she sees pity on your face, we're kicking you out. Like we had to like also take a lot of emotional labor with that. And I was exhausted. Like it was exhausting, but I also feel like there's no other choice, period. Right. For 14 months, I overextended every single day. And the night before my mom went on hospice, I was waiting for one more sales proposal. And it was one of those proposals, if it comes back accepted, the company is saved. And I got an email on my phone. I was standing in the darkened hallway outside of my mom's bedroom, and it came in, declined. We're not even going to use a vendor. We're going to do it in-house. And I just went, and I feel guilty. I actually felt some relief. Because even though this dream I loved so much was going to be leaving, and I also knew I'm going to be able to rest. I'm going to be able to rest because I can't save it. Okay. And so that night, although I was heartbroken, I went in to kiss my mom goodnight and did probably the hardest thing I've ever done, which was smile and tell her I was going to be okay. Because she could see in my eyes, she was the only person who could always call me out on my crap. And she could see it in my eyes that something was wrong. And I was like, it's going to be okay. And I remember leaving going, I hope I didn't just lie to her. I really hope I didn't lie to her. Because 2 weeks after that, she passed away. And we buried her the day before Mother's Day. That sucked. And then 2 months later, I closed my business. And I'm really proud of how I closed it. I did it with so much honor. And I thought that would be enough to make me feel like, okay, now what's next?
So, Erika, what were some of the most helpful tips or practices that helped you get to that point where you could trust yourself and trust a different pace than what you were used to before?
You want me to summarize 2 years at Harvard for you in a couple of sentences, huh? Okay.
No, I want you to just hit the top point.
Actually, for me, probably some of the best advice came from one of my mentors. So Meg Wheatley she's an organizational development guru, and I'm lucky enough to know her on a personal level as well through my parents. And when I was mid burnout and just lost, I think that's the only way to describe it, just lost. I felt a very strong impression to reach out to her. And I asked her to be my mentor at that time. And I'm so grateful because she taught me several things. One, she taught me that I needed to not over prioritize the destination than the direction I'm going. So ironically, for like a couple years, I had to stop making SMART goals. I had to stop because I was getting too attached as an achiever to the fact that I want to hit my timelines and I want to hit all of my pieces of this timeline, and I'm going to hit it at the absolute level best every freaking time. Like I had to start saying, I'm going to make a goal so it gets me going in the right direction. And if that direction takes a detour, I'm okay. So that was step number one, is that became less about my outcome and where I've landed and more about, am I doing things to drive in a positive direction? And if I get to that outcome, great. But I'm also going to keep my mind open to other outcomes because there might be something even better out there. That was the first thing she taught me. And the second big thing she taught me was to not throw away the hard things. So I remember I was trying to whine. Basically, I was like, it's been so hard. I miss my mom. I don't have my people anymore. I'm so tired. I feel like Icarus. I flew too close to the sun and now I'm never going to be me again. Right? Like moaning. And she was like, I'm going to stop you right there. And when you have someone like Meg Wheatley tell you you're going to stop right there, you say, yes, ma'am. I'm going to stop right there. And she goes, there are things that happen in the struggle that you cannot learn any other way. She said, at this point, you've been gifted something, and it's your job to mine it for whatever the valuable lessons are. So get to work. That helped me a lot, because now instead of me wanting to be like, oh, burnout was so awful, blah, blah, I can say, yeah, it was awful. And it taught me probably the biggest thing, which will make the most sense for your podcast, is taught me to be freaking compassionate with myself and to be more compassionate with others, because now I know what that looks like. There's a look in the eyes of someone who is striving so hard and the weight is so heavy. Whereas before I've been like, suck it up. Let's keep going. Work's got to get done. And now I see someone and I go, let's talk. How are you holding up? What are the things that you're missing? What else do you need right now? Is there anything I can help provide for you? Are there people that you need? Right? Instead of it now being me telling you what to do, I'm willing to sit with people who are dealing with really hard stuff. It's not scary anymore. I think before that, it was really scary to sit with someone who's facing the most awful things in their life. And I'm like, I faced them and I'm still alive. And I know how hard they were. And you could tell me about them without me trauma dumping on you. In fact, I will sit with you and go, hi, you're going to make it. And I will sit with you for as long as you need so that you know it's going to be okay. I would not have done that if I hadn't gone through grief, through burnout, through losing what I thought mattered to me most, and realizing there's more to come. You want more? I was like, I could give you some more.
That is so powerful. And I feel like you are speaking to so many people in the universe right now when you say that. So I do want more, and I want you to take us one step further. What would you tell those people who are on that edge where they're like literally holding on to this and not trusting what's next, but knowing that this over here is killing them? It's killing them, but they're afraid of what's next. I have goosebumps everywhere right now. I have goosebumps everywhere just thinking of this. What do you tell that person?
One, take a deep breath, actually. I can go way into the science of breathing. But for me, I wish I had been better at welcoming the people who could have actually helped me. Because one of the hard things for me is that I'm so proud of how capable I am that I was not good at letting people know I was struggling and needed help. And mostly it's because I didn't want to be a leech, right? No one wants to be a leech. I don't want to be a problem for you. But I also realized I was robbing those folks of the opportunity to be a leader, to be a giver, to be part of my world. Like I was shutting them out. So for those folks, I would always say, find a champion. Find someone who, and these are the 3 traits of what I'm going to say a champion are. Someone who cheers for you unabashedly. Okay? Someone who also can provide a resource to you. Like we all need someone who can cheer for us, but when you are on the verge of falling apart, you need more resources. The resources can be a skill. They can be money. They can be time. They can be, if I had someone I could delegate to and trust, that's a hard thing for an achiever. I'm not great at trust, right? So being able to say, you know what, this is a very generous thing for me to do is to delegate to you because I'm offering you my trust, right? And then the third thing I would need for someone to be truly a champion for me is also someone who's going to call me out when I'm trying to be wallowing in my own grief or heading in the wrong direction is the best way to think of it. If I've started to numb scroll all day long, right? a true champion is going to come in my house and make me go for a walk for him, right? Like this is going to be someone I've let in. So I would say if you were on the edge of it, because at this point you're in so deep, find yourself a champion. Now, I had that in my mom. I actually think that was probably the hardest part of losing my mom was I realized she'd always been a champion for me. And so therefore I'd never found another one. It's not 100% true. My husband's a champion for me as well. But I wasn't as great at letting them in as my mom because she'd always been there. But that's what she taught me. Like it could have been something as small as I am thrilled. I actually remember being in the second grade and coming home, having learned about the life cycle of water, which, you know, it rains, it falls in, it goes in the mountain, it goes back up. Like, I thought it was so cool. And I told my mom, I remember like, that's amazing. That's so cool. Like she just celebrated with me because I cared about it. And she always was very much like, you need to be self-sufficient. Like I'm a highly independent person. And that's partly because my mom was like, you're tall enough to reach the washing machine. You will do your own laundry. Like, all right, mom. Yes, mom, I will do that. But also if I truly needed help, you know, she'd make sure I had food. And then that last piece of she was safe enough that when I needed to be redirected, I listened. Mm. Now, if you don't have anyone that you let redirect in your life, no matter what, burnout is imminent. It's imminent. Because who's going to hold you back? You're not going to hold yourself back. I've actually got some science behind that, but I don't think we have time to go into it. But you're not going to hold yourself back. So it really is, I would say again, find that person who's a champion for you and then reciprocate it. Because that's the best part of it. When you get that from someone else, you're more qualified to give it back. And then it just keeps growing from there. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
That is amazing. We could go on, and I'll tell you, Erika, I could geek out over the science with you too, because I love that kind of stuff. But we are rapidly approaching the end of our time. So I want to give you a chance to let people know how can they get more of Erika Coleman?
Right. I have a website, Erika Coleman Speaks. Now, Erika is with a K and Coleman with a C, speaks.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I do write every week on topics that do with even achieving. So I talk about how do you fuel your drive? How do you also care for your needs? How do you deal with really hard things? And also, what's the science behind all of this? Because I'm a big believer that it should be science-backed. So if you ever want to check those out, those are always welcome too. I'm very consistent on my Wednesday posting of those articles.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you.
And I'm a follower, so I will confess that I read Erika's stuff, and it's fantastic. She's great. So connect with Erika and get more of this goodness from her. Amy, do you want to ask our last question?
Let's do it. All right. So, Erika, please tell our compassionators, what is one way that they can infuse compassion into their life this week?
One of my favorite ways to infuse compassion is to actively practice gratitude. Mm-hmm. One, because gratitude helps keep me humble. It helps me see that, yes, there are things in my life that maybe have just been dumb luck and I'm still grateful for them. However, gratitude also helps me when I fall short, remember that that's growth. And so as I'm going to infuse compassion through gratitude, I say, I am grateful for what I've learned today and the fact that it's going to help me keep growing tomorrow.
And this is what I love. I love the way you explained that, because what I heard in your example is self-gratitude, which I think is so, I think a lot of times people see gratitude and feel gratitude, whether they express it or not, for the people around them and the things that are happening around them. But to stop and say, hold on, this is what I'm grateful for about me and this experience that I'm going through. That's really powerful. So thank you for that example. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Erika, I started out this episode with electricity. You are a lightning bolt of let's wake up, right? And let's figure out the life that we want and can live. This beautiful balance that you speak of. I want to thank you for your vulnerability. I want to thank you for your presence and just your grace and enthusiasm. You are truly dynamic. Dynamic. So,
Well, thank you.
thank you for spending your time with us and sharing your wisdom and everything with us. I want to thank all of our compassionators, all of our listeners out there. Thank you so much for being along this journey with us. We are so grateful. We hear these incredible stories from people that are like, oh my goodness, I heard this episode, and we love hearing from you. So please continue to reach out to us. Continue to say, hey, listen, that episode that you had on so-and-so, we share this feedback with that guest. So please continue to reach out. And if you have a story, if you have something that you want to share with the world, reach out to Mark and I, Infused Compassion Podcast. Give us a hello. Tell us what's going on. We'd love to have you on as a guest. And just keep infusing compassion into the world, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Infuse Compassion Podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, please share a review and like the podcast so other compassionators can join us. Until next time, let's all do something each day to infuse compassion into the world. For more information on our guests, see the show notes. For more information on Mark and Amy, go to infusecompassion.com.